everyone. Welcome back to Open, and we welcome our last guest, a Bronx native hip hop artist and producer on the rise who, from an early age, his love for music got him into rapping and making beats, and since then has performed in cities all over the world with his Honduran roots. He has a collective palette mixing hip hop, Latin, and Afro beats, creating a unique and universally appealing sound for everyone to hear. Everyone, please welcome rapper and producer Slop. Yes, Slop. Slop. Yeah. Well, let's talk about the name. We gotta start off with the name because originally it was Sloppy Joe, and you cut the Joe and the Sloppy, and now you just Slop.
Yeah, so Sloppy Joe is more like it's like a shock value thing, but more like an oxymoron. Like I wanted the underdog effect. Like, you know, as soon as you hear like a funny name, you already thinking the worst.
Yeah, well, you know, I thought of the food, right? And I'm like, okay, so how is he relating this? Well, because Sloppy Joe, believe it or not, for me, this is my, I'm gonna share. Sloppy Joe for me, back in the days when I used to eat red meat, I don't eat red meat anymore, even though you can still make a Sloppy Joe with turkey meat, used to be a special dish for me. Like, I used to enjoy when my mom would make a Sloppy Joe because it was like, oh my gosh, I get to eat all messy, and yeah, so it was like a treat.
Man.
So just so you know, that's what came to me.
Respect. So you're always gonna remember.
Yeah. Exactly.
Nah, that's a fact.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely did it more for like just to get the I always love, like, every time I watch a movie or something, I'm always rooting for the underdog. Or every time I watch like a boxing match or something, I ask like, yo, who's the underdog?
Right.
So I kind of wanted that every time I go on the stage. You hear, oh, Sloppy Joe coming on stage, and everybody's like, Sloppy Joe. But then when I come with the action, they respect it extra because they was already thinking the worst.
Right.
So it's kind of like a strategy.
I got you.
Yeah, but then I cut it down to Slop for marketing reasons because people looking for me on Google and they see sandwiches all day. So I had to.
I love it that you keeping it real. You're like, yo, you know, I was over there competing with the Sloppy Joe.
Exactly. The algorithm wasn't with me.
That's funny. So thanks for breaking it down for us. And also, I do want to open up with how you even got to us, right? How you came to us.
Yes.
Because we had Jiggy J on, producer who has this wonderful documentary called Lifementary that is still in development. I know you're one of the subject matters. And I would love for us to share your relationship to him because I researched and learned that you became acquainted by a mere need that you had in emergency of, I think, a car battery or something of that nature.
He was a friend of a friend at the time.
A friend of a friend.
Yeah, and then he basically, I knew he worked at AutoZone. I'm like, hook me up with the battery. He hooked it up for me, and the next thing you know, we both learned that we making beats at the same time. So we started learning of each other. It was like a sword sharpened sword kind of, relationship. So then from there it just grew. Next thing you know, he's telling me I want to do documentaries.
But how many years ago was this? So you
went
fast forward.
We talking like 13, easy 13, 14.
So 13 years you have been in each other's lives, developing each other in your respective areas while feeding each other in the beats department.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And now
he's always believing, because he always believed.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You need to keep people like that in your life. And it's important for us to share this with our viewers because that is what builds our community, right?
Yes.
Is recognizing each other's values. Yes.
Sometimes people see it more than you could see it. They'll remind you of you think you have some shortcomings, but they'll lift you up. They'll speak life into you. And next thing you know, you're ready for war.
Yeah.
Basically.
All right, Guerrero. You're like, and the next thing you know, we're ready for war. I'm like, all right, Guerrero. I'm a Guerrero, so I get it.
We're on the same team.
I totally get it. I get it. But the beauty of it is that you both have been able to develop alongside each other and identify where your strengths lie, right? Because 100%. You have your own style, right? Yes. And I don't know, like, what that what it took for you to understand that, okay, so this is where my foundation is going to be, right? Because even though, you know, we kind of just chuck it up to just being rapper, hip hop, it's not, because you've got like these Afro beats inside of it. I already introduced you as a Hondureño, right? Because, you know, you're from Honduras, so I know that's at the foundation of it, right? I already told you, I think, you know, next one is we got to throw some more punta music.
More punta, respect, I got it.
We're talking about Guerrero, that's as Guerrero as it gets.
Yeah, nah, definitely that comes from my mom, really. We had this tradition where every Saturday she'll wake us up with the music at 7 in the morning, and her playlist wasn't regular. It would go from punta to bachata to reggae to merengue. So I listened to everything growing up. So I never was just stuck to one genre. So later on in life, I learned how to make beats, and I'm like, you know what? How can I bring people together? It's like if I make 2 genres put together, that will bring 2 different kind of people to a crowd, right? And then you put everybody together like that.
That's the world we should be living in.
Definitely.
All day, every day.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a state of mind, though. It's a state of mind,
it's
right?
definitely, it comes from how I grew up, too, because it's like, yes, I'm Hispanic, but I'm also black.
Right.
So it's like I'll be with the Spanish
Code
clique,
switch,
and then with the
code switch,
and then at the
code
same
switching.
time, it's like, how do I turn this? Like, what's me?
Right.
And I'm black,
right,
but I'm Spanish.
Right.
So
right.
that's basically my music.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
How did you learn how to make beats?
YouTube.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh no, YouTube. You're at the University of YouTube. My daughter too. My daughter learns everything. I'm like, hey,
Yeah, I learned how to make rice on YouTube.
Where were you when I was growing up? I would be a genius right now, even though I identify as a genius.
Respect. Oh man.
How fascinating.
Yeah, YouTube. Yeah.
Wow. And so now you've got your own flavor, your own
Yeah.
style. You've got a few songs out,
Yes,
right?
definitely.
They're all available on all the streaming platforms.
Correct.
You've got your own market going on.
On YouTube, yeah.
All from YouTube. Look at that. And so
Definitely.
I also learned that you have an affection for the ocean and nature.
Definitely.
I saw some images of
respect.
you, actually videos of you. A lot of your stuff is near the water. I'll say that, right? And I'm
yes.
very curious to know how it feeds you, right? Because I
yes.
know it's an energy that you're
Definitely.
kind of like borrowing
Yeah.
from, right? And then there's the ocean and finding solitude and being with self, right? I'm saying, I'm pointing here because I got it. I'm like, you know, I go into the deep, you know, the depths of like, oh, wait, how'd you
Respect.
get there? Where do you find the whatever, the sound, the lyrics?
Yeah.
And when I see that a person takes the time to be with themselves and the elements,
Yes.
right? Because that's the elements that are
Yeah.
really providing you the food.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
I definitely.
Let's start with the ocean first.
Oh, the ocean.
Uh-huh.
I feel like it's actually, I probably always loved it, just didn't understand. So probably when Corona hit and we really didn't have much to do, and I always felt like, you know, let's go to the mountains, son. Let's go to the water. Let's go to, I'm saying, go try. And then I have a mentor, my mentor Kimo, and he introduced that life to me, where it's like, it was not everything just city. Sometimes you got to get away from, you know, you got to get away from the city. You got to get away from the phones. You got to get away from, like, I take breaks of social media just to be able to come back to regular life. Because
I call it
sometimes,
social media fasting. I do
definitely,
it too.
because sometimes social media gets more important than real life, and that becomes a problem.
Yeah, and that's what they're banking on,
Yeah,
actually.
basically.
They want you like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So before that even happens, I try to like take breaks even with my kids. Like I put them in sparring races. I make sure that everybody we in the elements. We always in nature. So we're always grounded.
Right.
We don't fall into this little fake life that we have on our phone. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's big. It's
the
really
facade,
on that.
the facade of comparison.
Completely. Yeah.
Because that's what it is,
Yeah.
as opposed to being present.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I saw you. I saw you. I was like, oh my gosh. Oh no, he's over there
Yeah.
doing burpees on the top of a mountain. Yeah, I dig. But also it's admirable, right? It's admirable, and I think it's important that we share it with our viewers and anyone who's listening, how important it is to reconnect to our origins, and our origins are that of being a being that exists amongst other living beings, right? Or elements that are all, we're coexisting together. And I'm referring to, the trees, the grass, the rocks.
You feel a difference. Like when you're in the nature, you just feel it. You feel it. Even when you're driving into New York, you feel the energy as soon as you cross a bridge. You know, like, oh yeah, I'm in here. Even the potholes.
It's like, te cogí, cool. Like, you mind,
Exactly. So it's like, sometimes you gotta get away.
Yeah, well, I gotta tell you, I'm a city girl. Like, I did the whole, like, I'm gonna go live in LA, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh my gosh, no. I need my fast-paced, like, pata caliente lifestyle, I'm like, oh, me voy pa' allá. It's like zen de vez en cuando.
I learned to love it now, recent.
Yeah. Well, it's about balance, really. I mean, I'm making a joke out of it, but I also exercise balancing and restoring, right? This is restoration. And it also feeds you music. So I know we went into nature, but we're here to really talk about you, your music. But I know all of that is a contribution to it.
Yes, 100%.
Right?
Yeah.
And so where do you find yourself now in the way you craft your beats and how your ancestry plays a role, how nature plays a role? Like, where do you find yourself now in this global, like, because I would imagine it's a little challenging in your particular genre.
Yes. So basically how I try to stay away from not listening to people, but just going with the flow. Just understanding, like, yo, not everybody's gonna understand what you're doing, especially if it hasn't been done.
Right.
So I have to understand that sometimes not everything is gonna go my way because it's the first time.
Right.
Like, it's not, you know what I'm saying? If it was something that I can follow somebody else's steps, then it'll be easier to navigate.
Right.
But I have to figure this out. Like, I'm in there and I'm touching the walls and saying, like, okay, there's a door right here, there's a door, but I'm doing it blindly.
Right.
Figuring it out.
Right, but that's bravery. Yeah.
Respect.
It is.
Warrior.
Huh?
Warrior.
I told you, guerrera. You're speaking to one. I get it.
Respect.
I get it. And, and it's a beautiful thing to be confident enough to just roll with it and go, you know what? This is bigger than me, and I know it serves a grander purpose.
Yes.
Right? And the reason I'm even saying that is because you make it your business to coexist at a level of appreciating the elements that allow you to even exist.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm talking about as being human
100%,
beings.
yeah.
Because the truth of the matter is we need to have more conversations about being human beings.
Yeah. People are forgetting to be human beings.
Yeah.
Like, this world, what we seeing right now, what we seen 10 years ago, this is a complete different world.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think people are forgetting what's actually important, what really matters.
Yeah. And so in concluding, what is it that really matters?
What really matters to me is family and yourself. Like, understanding that you know who you are and people can't sway how you feel about yourself. Because nowadays, that's what the internet is doing.
Right.
It's making people, it's directing you to feel a certain kind of way.
Right.
And it's like basically they selling us fear.
Right.
And so you could go buy everything.
Right.
And it's like, nah.
Yeah.
Not
only buy everything.
Yeah.
It's designed a certain lifestyle, okay?
Yes.
Don't get me started. We're not going down that rabbit hole.
I already know where you're going. I know where you're going.
And we haven't even ended 2024 yet.
Exactly.
Just saying.
Oh,
just
man.
saying. Just saying.
Yeah.
But I want to thank you for allowing me to open up the space for you to speak in that manner.
Thank you for the opportunity, honestly.
As an artist, as a father, right? You have how many children?
3.
3
Yes,
children.
3 boys.
3 boys,
Yeah.
and look at the example you're setting for them,
Thank you.
and also for making sure that you're feeding it to the community as well.
Respect. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, we're happy to have you here.
Thank you.
You guys, that was Slop, and he's going to be performing for us, and you don't want to miss it, so stay right there. We'll be right back. Hey everyone, and welcome back here now to perform Antics. Let's give it up for Slop.
Slop. You with the antics and all.
I'm trying to get with the antics now. It's not about just trying to get your panties down. I remember we was glancing, now what happened? Now you glance at me when you grab it now. Are you on my time? You with the antics now. Passing and you tell me I got have it now. Nah, she ain't playing it, it just happened, and now she really with the antics now. Oh, fat, let's connect them. Her B-day and her B-day, I'm in a. I slap her cheeks, they clap back, I respect them. But I ain't learned my lesson. With a real, she crossed it off a checklist. I come with good reaching incentives. She said the bread a plus, I hope that she meant it. Either way, I be getting it for breakfast. It's not about just trying to get your panties down. I remember we was glancing, now what happened? Now you glance at me when you grab it now. Are you on my time? You with the antics now. Passing and you tell me I got have it now. Nah, she ain't playing it, it just happened, and now she really with the antics now. Said she missed me. Get in line with my old stretch, she just hit me. At the dub old babe, she was moving fishy. I'm all set when you mix it. Now good, going bad, let me cook some. Good hair up, now she look them. I'm mob deep and she came, she shook one. So you turn the bad, texted her a good one. She know who I'm talking to. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Now I'm talking to you. She know who I'm talking to. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Now I'm talking to you. She know who I'm talking to. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Now I'm talking to you. She know who I'm talking to. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Yeah, I'm talking. Trying to get with the antics now. Not about just trying to get your panties down. I remember we was glancing, now what happened? Now you glance at me when you grab it now. Are you on my time? You with the antics now. Passing and you tell me I got have it now. Nah, she ain't playing it, it just happened, and now she really with the antics now.
Thank y'all for having me. Thank y'all for having me. Sloppy_Joe. Thank you.
All right. Slop, everybody.
Thank you.
All right, once again, Antics is now out on all streaming platforms. And for more on Slop, you can check him out on Instagram at sloppy_Joe. There you go. That is our show today, mi gente. Thanks to all our guests for coming through, and to you, our viewers, for tuning in. If you missed any part of the show, you can check out this episode throughout the weekend and 24 hours a day at BronxNet.tv. I'm Rena Valentin, and from all of us here at Open, may the universe provide paz, prosperity, y amor.